Today's presentation was about how to really figure out the process between the buyer and seller and improve on the different components of that process. So I thought that the process was well laid out, and then we dove into a little bit of how you can attack each component of that process and get better at it.
It was actually very informative in terms of what a traditional sales process looks like and then how to pivot it to make it more productive. Similar to how my sales process runs with the business that I do, but it sort of underscored what I do and made even more examples. So I don't come from a selling background, so it was very helpful to hear some of the points.
I think the biggest thing is you just want people to leave with some things rolling around in their head. You know, this is not something where you're going to have this groundbreaking event, but you want them to stimulate some thought, how they can apply this maybe to their world. So that's basically what you want. You want to kind of get them thinking about some of these concepts.
I think permission to say no was the biggest one, which is hard for people to do. But if you do that, you've released the prospect from having the pressure that they have to buy something from you. You're basically saying, look, if you're not interested, no worries. I'd like to stay in touch. However the conversation goes, I think the permission to say no was a big takeaway.
By being able to tell someone up front, listen, I don't want to waste your time or my time. If it's not a fit, I'd love for you to tell me that, and I'd love to be able to tell you that. And I think what happens sometimes is the defensive wall breaks down, and you actually have a more receptive person to listen to what you have to say, versus having a defensive mechanism that's acting like a force field. Doesn't matter how good your message is if you don't have a receptive audience.
I think that it's always good to learn about how you can be better at selling. Selling is part science, part art, and any little tip or nuance you can put into your tool belt can be really helpful.